Hello, I'm Dr. Carrie and I'm going to talk to you today about being a freelance nutritionist. So I'm just going to share my slides. There we go. Okay, ready to start. Hope you're all sitting comfortably. So first of all, the plan of the class, what the job involves, how I got to be a nutrition consultant, what skills you need for this role, and finally, what to consider before going freelance. First of all, a bit about my job. So when you're freelance, you don't have a usual daily structure. It can really involve anything, and that depends on who you're working for and which projects you're doing. You don't tend to have regular contracts when you're freelance. It tends to be on a project by project basis. So this is why sometimes you have relatively little control over what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And sometimes you can be very, very busy and other times not busy at all. So the sorts of companies that I work for are either big multinational food companies, for example, Benecol, Yakult, General Mills, and some of the brands that they work for. It might involve a small company like a startup or a trade body, for example. I also work for the tea trade bodies, eggs, supplements, so quite a variety there. And then finally, the public sector. I also do some work for the European Food Safety Authority, and I've done some work for Public Health England. So really, it just depends what clients you're able to bring into your business and what projects they give you to do. What jobs do I undertake for these organisations? It kind of falls into 4 categories. So one is about developing content and communication. So that's the public relations and creating written content and video content. The second category is all about products. So it's about developing new food and drink products and also perhaps reformulating or changing existing products to make them healthier and better for consumers. The third area is about research. That can involve desk research or getting involved in a practical project. And then finally, training staff in nutrition. So that's kind of the 4 categories of work that I get involved with. I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about these now. So the first one is public relations and content. That is very much about companies and organizations wanting to speak to the general public or consumers. And that could be through their website, through their social media. It could be through magazines, newspapers, radio, even television. So I've got some examples on this slide for you. We've got 4 cups of tea can cut heart attack risk. And that was an interview that I gave to a journalist for the tea trade body. We've got Recharge Your Health, and that is a magazine article that I helped with. I've got a newsletter that Kellogg's produced, which they sent to different healthcare professionals. We've got an article at the bottom from patient.info, which is a medical website that I write some content for. And then finally, we've got somebody drinking juice there on the right-hand side, and that is the Fruit Juice Science Centre website. And I create all the content for that, so all the news articles and information about fruit juices. So that's kind of on the public relations and content side. And then product development now. So all the products that you see when you go to the supermarket, somebody has sat down, probably in quite a big team, and developed these products. And my role in all of that, because the companies will do 99% of the product development, but my role as a consultant nutritionist is helping them to benchmark their products against competitors. So for example, if you're comparing sugar content or vitamins, minerals, fiber, to see how their products fit in against competitors and also against healthy eating standards, what you would expect from a healthy product. I might work with companies to develop brand new products, and I've got some icons at the bottom there for different companies that I've worked with. And I might advise companies about how they could reformulate or add different vitamins or minerals to improve the healthiness or functionality of those products, or even how to take out ingredients, for example, salt. And then I might advise them on making nutrition and health claims. These are the legal statements on labels and on websites. For example, high in vitamin C, supports immune function, things like that. The third area, as I said, is research and training. So I have written literature reviews for clients. I might do some desk research for them to look up things. I've also helped companies manage and design studies. For example, I'm involved in a big European project at the moment called Hesper Health, which looks at the benefits of drinking orange juice and how it affects blood pressure. So that's a 4-year project with different universities in Europe. I get involved in training staff about nutrition. So this is, for example, a food company might have marketing or content staff who need to know about the basics of nutrition so they can do their jobs better. And I would create like a training program for them, which could be online or in person. I also write scientific papers because quite a lot of companies and organizations have lots of data that just sits there and they're looking for somebody to write it up. So that's always an interesting job. How did I get here to being a nutrition consultant? I would never recommend going straight from university to being freelance. And that is because if you're going to offer clients such as companies benefits and skills, I think you really need to understand how those companies work first. So the way that I did it is I started at school with 5 hires. English, maths is essential, and also a couple of science subjects. I went on and did a degree in dietetics, stayed on for a PhD. I don't think that's always essential for being a nutrition consultant, but it certainly helps broaden your experience and improve your confidence. But if you just had a BSc, you could still be freelance. I then worked as a dietitian for a while in a hospital, but most importantly, I spent 5 years as a food industry nutritionist. And that was really essential to getting a broad range of skills and experience. And I then went part-time freelance. First of all, it took me about a year to become fully freelance, and I had a couple of other jobs while I was doing that. That's just a little picture of my website at the bottom of the page. I think it's really important to have a website and some sort of presence online. And I've just got the icon there for the Nutrition Society, because that is a great organization to join as a member to make sure that you keep training yourself. You can do CPD, continuing professional development. You can access courses, conferences, webinars, and most importantly, contacts also in the world of nutrition. So definitely join. You can even join as a student. You don't have to wait until you're qualified. What skills do you need for this role? Well, first of all, a recognized nutrition degree. Now, if you go online and look for nutrition qualifications, you will see lots of companies offering you a nutrition course. Before you even go near that, click on to the associationfornutrition.org and look at their list of accredited degrees and go for one of those, because that will be much better training to be a nutritionist. And you will also then be able to register as a nutritionist with the AFN, the Association for Nutrition. The second tranche of skills you need is about running a freelance business. So that's your team skills, your motivation to get up in the morning and get to your desk, and also the ability to manage your own workload, take calls from clients, schedule them in, do your invoicing, tax, national insurance, fix your own computer. You really will be a one-man or woman band. It's great fun, but it's not for everybody. So just make sure that you're prepared to work on your own and do all of those things. Thirdly, you need a public presence. So that is your website, social media account, a blog, regular media quotes. The media won't pay you for giving them quotes, but it's a good way to raise your public presence and hopefully get lots of work in from potential clients. And then finally, this entrepreneurial attitude and confidence. The work is not going to come to you initially. You need to go out and look for it. And that might mean emailing people that you don't know, sending your CV, creating perhaps a little PowerPoint presentation about the skills you can offer, and just making sure that you get out there. I think LinkedIn is quite a good way to do that. So do consider going on LinkedIn, but you need to go out there and look for the work. Until you're very well known, it's not going to come to you. So finally, what to consider before going freelance. The most important one is, can you afford it? Because freelance work will bring in money, but it can vary, it can fluctuate depending on the time of year. When I first went freelance, I got to July and all the work dried up, and I thought, oh no, I can't be freelance anymore, I'm going to have to go and get a job. But actually that happens every year, that you have busy times of the year, normally about between February and May. Then it starts to die down in July, August, September, and then it picks up again suddenly, and then it goes quiet again at Christmas. So you will have fluctuations in income. And if you can't afford to do that, then consider being freelance part-time with a regular paid job. The most important thing, secondly, is you must register as self-employed with HMRC and prepare to do your own tax, national insurance and accounts. The HMRC website has got information on how to do that, so do check it out. Thirdly, as I mentioned before, register as a nutritionist with the Association for Nutrition, because then you have their backing behind you, and your clients know that you will be providing a certain standard of service as well. Fourthly, think what you have to offer. What's your unique selling point? Are you good at research? Are you good at communications, writing, presentations? Are you great with product development? What exactly have you got that you can offer your clients? And be very clear about that. And then finally, how are you going to market yourself, and what fees are you going to charge? So it's worth thinking in advance what your daily rate is, hourly rate, which can be anything between about £200 and £1,000 a day, depending on your skills level and how well known you are. And you might think £200 a day is a lot of money, but just remember that you will have to put aside about a third of that for tax and national insurance. And you also have to think about your expenses, running your home office and buying your computer equipment and travel and things like that. So you will have to bear in mind your costs as well as your income. Well, I hope that's been helpful. We're now just going to have a look at a couple of websites. I'm going to stop sharing for a second and then go on to these websites. There we go. So first of all, the Association for Nutrition. This has got some great information on what nutritionists do, careers in nutrition, how to get started and how to join. So that's a great website to have a look at. I would also recommend the Nutrition Society, which has got some great resources for getting started in nutrition, and whether you want to have a research degree and work in research, or whether you want to be freelance or work for industry. There's lots of different things. There's conferences, it's got journals, textbooks. So there's all kinds of resources there. So I'm just going to stop sharing now and say thank you very much for joining me for this session. I hope it's been useful, and I wish you much luck in being a consultant freelance nutritionist.